In this video, I'll be sharing with you the 3 most fundamental and important factors in building muscle and developing strength in the gym. Now, as you can see, I've got the whiteboard out. Noob gains. Who is a noob? Someone who has spent probably less than 2 years in the gym, and someone who is very new to lifting weights and resistance training. So, if you're a noob, please watch this video. And if you're not a noob, still please watch this video because you still might learn something, as all these factors apply to everyone who lifts weights in the gym. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the training, nutrition, and recovery, which are the 3 fundamental pillars in building muscle and gaining strength in the gym. How can you tell if you're a noob? There is a few strength standards which I'd say probably if you can't hit them, you're probably new to the gym, right? On average, if you can't bench press 2 plates, squat around 2.5 to 3, and deadlift around 3 and above, probably you're a noob. Also, if you are just generally small or have very little muscle mass, or you're able to add weight and add reps literally every workout, that is called linear progression, and that is something only possible if you're very new to the gym, because it's a very novel stimulus to your body. But if you are a noob, that's okay. That's why I'm here, your boy, Sebby Swole. I'm gonna be breaking down the 3 most important pillars here of how to build muscle and gain strength in the gym. So, quick overview. We've got training, nutrition, and recovery. So what I'm gonna be doing in this video is I'm gonna be breaking down training, then nutrition, then recovery, and the most fundamental bread and butter things that you have to do for each one of these. If you do all of these fundamental pillars well, you'll easily gain muscle, easily gain strength, and you'll come out of your noob phase easily. So this can apply to whatever training split you're doing, however many days you're training, it doesn't really matter, because these are so fundamental that they apply to everyone. When it comes to resistance training and gaining muscle and strength in the gym, there are 3 factors, right? We've got training, nutrition, recovery. Training is the stimulator, right? This is what stimulates your body to want to gain muscle and strength, right? You lift heavy weights over time. If you lift heavy and heavier weights, your body's like, oh, we got to get bigger, we got to get stronger, right? Simple, right? Then nutrition is the facilitator. So this is the building blocks of the muscle that you gain, right? Nutrition is the facilitator of the muscle growth. So you can train really hard, but if you don't have decent nutrition, you're not going to facilitate the gains as well as you could. And then recovery over here is the support. So basically this encompasses these 2. Without recovery, you can still obviously make gains, but it's going to be a lot harder for you. And if your recovery is very, very, very bad, you won't make any gains at all. So really when I'm breaking down these 3 pillars, they're all as important as each other. Not one of them is more important, they're just different, but they all work together. Think of it as a big Venn diagram. Probably should have drawn it that way actually. They're all 3 circles and they all overlap in the middle. In the middle. So as I said, I'm gonna be breaking down all 3 of these key components today. I'm gonna be starting with training. Wow, look at that. Beautiful presentation. I didn't draw that. My writing is fucked up. All right, so now we're gonna be breaking down training. So as a noob, or even if you're more advanced, I still gotta do these things too. These are the most important things that you have to do when it comes to training. So this is the first pillar. So training, the stimulator, right? Remember that, the stimulator. I'm gonna break this down into QPC, which I had written on the board before, which is quality, progression, and consistency. So now I'm gonna break down each one of these a little bit and this applies to whatever split you're doing. So you're new to the gym, keep doing what you're doing. You could be in there 1 or 2 days a week, not 1, 2 days a week. You could be in there 7. Probably wouldn't do 7 days either. If you're a noob, you wanna do around 2 to 3. What you should actually do is you should buy my new book. It's called 1 Day or Day 1. And it's about, if you're new to the gym and you want a program to help you learn all this stuff and then help you make your own programs when you're a year or two down the track and you have a better understanding, a bit more muscle, mate, book's for you. Discount code FIRST15 for 20% off, or is it 25? I'll make sure it's 25% off, FIRST15. I'll put it on the screen for the first 15 of you that purchased the book. For the video's sake, we're just gonna be breaking these ones down, doing a quick overview. So, like I said, you could be doing 2 days a week, 6 days a week, 4, 5, whatever, bro split, push-pull legs, whatever. This applies to all of them. First off, we've got quality. What I'm referring to here is your form or your technique, and then also how close you are to failure. So first of all, you're gonna tackle technique, right? Form, technique, whatever. The most important factors in why does our technique and form matter? Well, I'll tell you why. Without standardized form, it could be, no, I'll give you an example. Week 1, what I'm doing is, I'm doing bicep curls, right? 10 kilos, hammer curls, bicep curls, whatever, right? And my form's looking like this, okay? Form's looking like this. Pausing for like a second at the top, controlling on the way down, pausing for a second on the way down. I'm like, cool, I get 10 reps, whatever, right? Next week, I'm like, damn, that was too easy. I'm gonna go up in weight. So what do? I go grab the 20 kilos. Now, if I was still doing this, right? Same form I was doing last week, that's amazing, good for me, that's important. But what a lot of people do, and why standardizing your form is so important, is they'll go grab that heavier weight and then they'll start doing this, right? Just for bicep curls, right? They'll be like, oh, you know, swinging around, right? It's not the same as this one, is it? So what am I doing? I'm taking tension away from the muscle by doing that, right? Instead of just purely focusing on the bicep, right? I've now involved my legs and my back and everything, and that's fine. Doing a cheat curl like that is fine, but it's a different exercise. It's not a bicep curl where you're strict. That's a different exercise. So technically, you haven't gotten stronger. You've just let them go to shit and you've just stroked your ego. So don't do that. That is why you should standardize your form. Also with form comes full range of motion, right? This is another thing that you've got to do, right? Full range of motion basically means bicep curl again, another example. I'm gonna go all the way down, right? And then I'm gonna come all the way up. You don't have to do this when you get a bit more advanced. You can maybe come up to here, cut it a little bit, do partials and stuff like that. That's an advanced technique, and it basically complicates everything. To make it easy for you, right? To simplify it for you, this is the most important thing with the form, right? Just do the same range of motion, right? Bicep curls, that means if you got the bar or the dumbbells, come touch your leg here, come up to here, go back down. It's gonna be the same, pretty much the same on every rep, right? And then you're gonna keep the form the same as it is this week. So that means if you're like this, you go to this, go back down, right? It doesn't mean that if the weight gets hard and you start to like be like this a little bit, that it's a different exercise. That's okay. If your form breaks down a tiny bit towards the end of your set, like on the last rep, that's all right. That's okay. It's just if you start off the set and you've got an ego lift, no good. So another example with full range of motion, bench press. It's just bench press is the easiest one. That means you're gonna lock out your arms at the top, right? And you bring the bar down to touch your chest, right? Then back up. I don't want to see people, I've trained with people who are new to the gym. You know who you are. Comes down, will touch his chest on the first rep. Second rep, he won't. And then he won't lock it out. And then he'll come down, touch it again. It's like, mate, touch the chest all the way up, right? Don't be doing half reps. Because if you're doing partials and half reps on exercise like the bench press and the squat, you'll end up hurting yourself. Why? Because the tendons in that position get stronger. One time, you'll come down a little bit too far, the tendons in that position will be weaker, and you'll tear a pec or you'll hurt your knee if it's for squats, all right? So don't do that. Standardize your form, get full range of motion. The last bit for form, I'm gonna talk about tempo real quick. This one's not as important. You wanna make sure that you're in control of the weight when you're doing your exercises. Because you're new to the gym, you wanna make sure that you're staying away from injury and that you're getting the most out of every set that you do, right? That's why it comes under quality, okay? Quality. So that means, like for example, bicep curls again, having a little a little pause at the bottom, just for a split second, right? So you're just releasing a little bit of that momentum. At the top, a little pause again to get that squeeze, right? And then not just dropping the weight, right? You don't have to go slowly, but you want to control it on the way down. You don't want to go like this. I've been a victim of this myself, right? Bench press, load up a bit too much weight, and you just go, right? You can hurt yourself that way. It's not very effective. You're just bouncing it basically off of your ribs. I'll put a video on the screen. Pretty much the first time I got a 3-plate bench press, that's what I did. I could then never replicate that because it was literally just a lucky set, and I got it with momentum. I wasn't even ready to get it. Don't do that. That also comes under a bit of ego lifting. Don't do that. Make sure you have a little bit of a tempo in all your exercises. I'm not saying you got to do stuff slowly, but just keep in mind, hey, I'm gonna pause for a second in the bottom, get a good stretch, pause for a second in the contraction, and keep it throughout that set. If you're gonna do it for every rep. And once you can't do it for that rep, the set's over, because it means your form has gone to shit. Breakdown in form means the set's over. I'm now gonna talk about RPE. RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. You don't have to really remember that. You can look it up if you'd like. I will do a video on that in the future. It's in my book as well. It refers to how close your set is to failure. Failure is when you can't do another rep, right? If you want to get technical, failure should mean when you can't do another rep with your standardized form. So if we're doing a pause at the top and at the bottom, failure will mean when I cannot do that pause at the top and at the bottom again. That means I've reached failure. Even though I might be able to do it without pausing, for that exercise, because we're pausing at the top and the bottom of the bicep curl, I reached failure. Throughout your lifting career, you will come across failing, right? And it's a good thing. It's a good thing to fail. If your muscles aren't getting close enough to failure, they're not going to have a reason to grow because they need the stimulation. You do not have to train to failure to grow muscle, but you have to train somewhat close to failure to grow muscle. There is a big debate within the fitness industry about if training to failure is better than not training to failure. And there's a lot of mixed opinions on it. I personally do it sometimes I don't. It honestly depends how I feel. And that's generally the best answer I can give you. And a lot of fitness influencers will give you, do it sometimes. But my main point here is that you just want to make sure that every set that you do, the last repetition you do in that set is hard to do. Like actually hard. Slows down without you actually slowing it down. So when you're in the bench press, right, that last rep should be like this, right? It should be slow. And that's not you trying to push it up slowly. That's because it's actually your muscles can't push it up any faster. As long as it's something like that, you know you're training close enough to failure, which is good. Another thing I'll touch on real quick, which I haven't included on the whiteboard, is track your workouts. In your notes app on your phone, download a specific app. I use this app called Strong. I'm not sponsored by them at all, have no affiliation. I just really like it because it tracks your weight, your reps, whatever. I'll put a link to it. I have no affiliation with them. I've just used it for ages and I really like it. Otherwise, you can use a book or something, but I really find it useful tracking everything, and I think you should do it as well because it just makes everything so easy, because then you know, oh, I was this close to failure, I did this amount of weight on this exercise and I was pausing and blah, 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 blah. All right, makes it easy for you. So, to cover the quality, make sure your form is standardized and you're doing a full range of motion with somewhat of a tempo, right? And then make sure that you're training close enough to failure. So about 3 to 0 reps from failure. And you can go to failure if you would like. Progression, real simple. Progressive overload. This is the key. This is the fucking key. This is probably the most important one. Oh, no, sorry, they're all important, but this is the key. You want to build muscle and get strong? This is the one. You need to progress. You need to get stronger, right? You need to do more over time. Progressive overload. This is called progressive overload. If you're a noob, you can do this probably every session. It depends. If you're really new, you might be able to add weight to your bench press within a week. Literally, come in on Monday, do 20 kilos. Come in on Thursday, you might be able to do 25, the same number of reps. I'll get to that in a little bit. For me, I add about less than 10 kilos to my bench press in a year because I'm pretty advanced, you know? Yeah. Is there a pump? Bad lighting. Boom. But what you need to do to achieve progressive overload is basically you need to either add weight, reps, or sets over time to your exercise. So, easiest example, week 1, I do 100, or you do 100 kilos on fucking, let's say bicep curls. Let's just say you got huge biceps, okay? For 5 reps. Week 2, all right? If you do 105 kilos for 5 reps again, plus keeping standardized form, right? So not going from pausing to fucking swinging, right? Congratulations, you've gotten stronger by 5 kilos, right? Do you see how this is all coming together now? So I'll give you another example, squats. Let's say 100 kilos again, right? I'm going to full depth, bum to the floor, right? No pause, whatever, I'll keep it simple for you. Week 2, 105 kilos, right? Same number of reps. As long as my form is still going bum to the floor, right? Or pretty much the same, congratulations, I've progressively overloaded, right? But if I cut that range of motion short and I only do a half squat, instead of going all the way to the floor, adding weight, no progressive overload, because I'm ego lifting and my form's not the same. Different exercise, it's a half squat then, not the same. So, it doesn't have to be weight. You could go 100 kilos for 5, the next week you do 100 kilos for 6. As well as you can add another set. If you do 3 sets of 100 kilos for 5, the next week if you do 4 sets of 100 kilos for 5 reps, you've successfully, progressively overloaded as well. But remember, you've got to have that standardized form, standardized range of motion and tempo. These ones have to stay the same for this increase to be valid, okay? Otherwise, get out. Mate, the gym takes a lot of commitment and a lot of discipline. It's a day in, day out, long-term game. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I really mean that. I really mean you got to pick a plan and you got to stick to it over time, right? That doesn't mean you come in every day and you do 110% and like every workout is amazing and you have a really good pump and like you go up in weight and stuff. I've gone in there, right? I've gone into the gym, literally done 1 set and been like, fuck this, and like left. Also, I've gone to the gym on the way there, been like, oh, I really don't want to go. Gone there and had an amazing workout. It really depends on the day. But the point is I show up, right? The point is I'm not like, oh, I don't feel like going today and I don't go. Well, sometimes I do that, but that's my problem. You shouldn't do that. Overall, I'm there. When I say I'm going to be there, I'm there. All right? At the moment, I'm doing 4 days a week. You bet your ass I was there every day. I was there every day for that 4 days. With the consistency, one thing to keep in mind, don't set unobtainable goals in terms of your schedule. So if you say, I'm going to be in the gym 6 days a week, right? First week of your training program, you do 6 days a week. You're in there for those 6 days. Second week, you're in there for those 6 days. Third week, you miss a day, right? Something came up, right? Fourth week, you miss that day again. So you're in there 5, right? Then the 6th week, you might not even show up at all because you're like, fuck, I missed those workouts. Maybe you missed the 5th one again. You'd be better off just saying, I'm gonna do 5 days and be able to be there each one of those days. Also, my point is just showing up, right? Like I said, being disciplined, showing up, doing what you have to do. So like, let's say you've got a squat, you got to do leg day, just do it, right? Don't be like, oh no, I'm going to train biceps with the boys. Yeah. Nah, bro, got to get under that bar. Got to get jiggy with it on that. Okay, now we'll be talking about nutrition. Simply the do's and the don'ts for what I recommend. Do's, you want to be in a calorie surplus. Okay? You want to be eating more food than your body burns. This gives us an environment for our body to build muscle and to gain strength, because you need to eat more food, consume more protein and calories than you expend for your body to be able to optimally build muscle. Gives it the best environment to do so. So, you're going to find how many calories you expend. This is called your total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE. In the description of this video, I'm going to link a calculator which I use, which will give you a very good estimate of what your TDEE is. You'll put in your height, age, or activity factor. So if you're very sedentary or if you're very active and you move around a lot, like if you're in a trade and you're constantly on your feet, or if you work at an office job and you're not, and it'll give you a good estimate of how many calories you burn a day. You're going to add 200 to 500 minimum, but you can go more than that depending on how much of a surplus you want to be in. 200 to 500 or more calories a day, right? So just eating more food. You're going to get your body weight in pounds. So if you know your body weight in kilos, you just times it by 2.2. And then you're going to times your body weight in pounds by 0.7, right? This is going to be the minimum amount of protein that you'll need to consume for your body to optimally build muscle, okay? Any more than this, when you're in a calorie surplus, is kind of negligible. Doesn't really have a huge effect. Going up to 1 gram per pound of body weight, yes. But when you're in a calorie surplus, your body really doesn't require so much protein as if you're in a calorie deficit and you are losing weight, where it requires more protein to stop it from eating up your own muscle and using that as fuel. What you don't want to do is dirty bulk, which is basically eating a bunch of food, junk food usually, very high in calories, processed food, not good because you'll just get really fat. Obviously not healthy. Just because you go to the gym, it's not an excuse for you to be unhealthy and to become obese or overweight. So don't do that. Try and keep it in check. It's okay to eat junk food occasionally, but on the most part, you want to eat whole foods, organic foods, lots of fruits, red meat, chicken, fish, nuts, stuff like that. What I like to go for is stuff with minimal ingredients because it means that it's minimally processed. If you look at a cereal compared to like oats, oats have like 1 ingredient, just oats, and then a cereal will have a huge list of different sugars and wheats and additives and stuff that they put in that, which is not as good for you. So eating whole foods, stuff like that. And then the other don't is don't obsess. Nutrition is important, but you actually can out-train a bad diet if you train really hard. It's not optimal and it's not good, but you can do that. So don't over-obsess about your nutrition. It does matter, but if you're like me, I can be pretty lazy with it sometimes. So don't get hung up about it. Don't give yourself an eating disorder. So don't give yourself an eating disorder or a complex and become super obsessive about everything that you're eating, because at the end of the day, it's not a huge deal. If you think you're gaining too much weight too quickly, you can just replace one of your meals with a salad and it will slow down a bit, right? Weigh yourself as frequently as you can. So try and do it at least 5 days a week, same time every day at the start of the day. After you go to the bathroom, before you drink or eat anything, weigh yourself, jot it down or take a photo of it, and so then you can see if your weight is going up over time. Because in a calorie surplus, you want to be gaining weight. Probably should have mentioned that at the start. So you want to be gaining around, I think around 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week, roughly. But don't worry too much. You might gain a lot when you first start bulking up because you'll just retain a lot of fluids at the start. Try and increase your weight gradually over time. The last topic, the last pillar for today, recovery. Pretty straightforward, normal sort of standards that you should be keeping in your life, even if you're not going to the gym. So sleep, absolute minimum, 6 to 7 hours. If you have the opportunity to sleep for 9 or 10 hours on the weekend because you have nothing to do, it doesn't really hurt you to do so. If you have the opportunity to take a nap and you're tired and you feel like you want to, it's beneficial for you to do that as well. Get as much sleep as possible and have good sleep hygiene. I'm not saying that I do this, but try and stay off your phone before you go to sleep, or at least put your phone on the night shift mode so the screen is yellow instead of being blue, so it doesn't affect your sleep as much. Try not to consume stimulants past 3 or 4 p.m. in the afternoon, so it won't affect your sleep. Stay away from lights and stuff at night so your body actually gets tired. And have a routine before you go to sleep. So take some vitamins or whatever, read a book if you want. Or for me, watching TV just makes me really tired. Watching Family Guy makes me really tired. So I do that and I usually fall asleep. The next main point for the do's is you will want to reduce stress. So reduce stress. You want to try and live stress-free lifestyle. So that means removing people from your life that stress you out and spending a minimum amount of time with them. Taking supplements that might help with your stress, such as ashwagandha. Taking multivitamins, stuff like that will help with your recovery in general. A lot of people are deficient in magnesium. Magnesium is the only vitamin I take because it's quite hard to acquire large amounts of magnesium from natural sources. You have to eat, I think, heaps and heaps of kale to meet the daily minimum intake or something. To reduce stress, just relax and have fun. Life is fun, the gym is fun. Don't get caught up with the gym too much and be like, oh, I'm stressed I didn't hit this PR or this lift or whatever, and it makes me upset. Forget about it. You can try again next week or the week after or next month. I recently failed my 170 bench press. Tried it multiple times. I was this close. I literally had it, whatever. Made me a bit upset. I'm gonna put the bench press away until next year and I'll try again. And hopefully I'll get it because I was literally this close. Just relax. Don't. Pretty much just the opposite of these. Avoid having bad quality sleep and short amounts of sleep. Avoid a stressful lifestyle. But a big one is don't get hammered every weekend. Don't be a mister. You know who you are. Famous rapper, Sydney rapper. Destructive, self-destructive lifestyle. Not making good gains with this lifestyle. But don't have a self-destructive lifestyle. Don't go out on the weekend and get absolutely smashed every weekend, because you can do that once in a while, but alcohol has many detrimental effects on your health and also on your testosterone, which is the #1 supplement for building muscle. I don't take any steroids, I'm 100% natural. If you drink a lot of alcohol, your testosterone naturally goes down. Having less natural testosterone is bad. Wouldn't you want to maximize the amount of testosterone you can have naturally? Because I do, so I don't drink a lot of alcohol, and I rarely do. Because also, alcohol is packed full of calories. They're empty calories, they're not protein. There's 7 calories per gram of alcohol, and your body cannot utilize that towards building any muscle. It's literally a poison. Also, if you drink a bunch of alcohol and then consume food afterwards whilst you're drunk or intoxicated, your body will automatically start shuttling that food straight into your fat storage because it prioritizes removing the alcohol from your body because it is a poison. To recap, in this video, we covered the 3 most important things I've learnt in training as a base, the 3 pillars: training, nutrition, recovery. And I've explained to you how you can best apply them in your training and make the best possible gains. Remember, my ebook and training program is in the description of this video. Discount code will be there too. If you would like coaching or if you would like to buy my book, I would appreciate it. I would love you forever. If you liked this video, please like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. If you didn't like this video, please leave me a nasty comment and give me some feedback on why my video sucks. And if you want me to quit social media, please tell me that as well, because all publicity is good publicity. Just put it on your Facebook or whatever and be like, look at this absolute moron. Please just do that so more people can get some free education from me, Sebby Swole.